Hello everyone, how are you guys doing here? I'm doing just dandy, you know. Sitting in my grandmother's backyard, and just finally having the feeling that I can work in a relaxed atmosphere, which is where all this great green comes from, Mother Nature. And I was a little bit out of the world issues, to be honest. It's social media has been, getting a lot of flack. It's been a lot of negative things being said about social media culturally, socially, and on a global scale. And where of course people say there are definitely some problems that coexist with social media. Definitely, but to say that those problems are the pure source because of social media, that all these issues are there because of social media alone, that is absolutely false. And I'll tell you why. Is because if you look at the United States of America, all those social issues, all of those things, problems that were brought to the surface. Definitely last year with Corona, of course, with the George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, our medical system, our healthcare system, our political system, our cultural way of communicating with one another, or the lack of communication with others. See, all those problems, all these things that were swept under the rug were already there long before social media. If you look at, of course, the Black Lives Matter movement, the George Floyd incident, which is a very horrible incident, which should have never happened and shouldn't have never happened as far as it did. Having said that, those issues were already there for a very long time. The only thing that social media ever did was highlight the problems that were already existing prior to social media. That is what people fail to realize about the social media, because the fact is that the issues that exist with social media is not due to social media. Those problems were already there with cultural divide, with, I don't like to use the word, but I'm going to use it anyway today, racial divide, political divide, religious divide. They existed long before social media. Definitely if you looked at, sexual harassment with the Harvey Weinstein case, which a lot of people already forgot, the Bill Cosbys and, the Epsteins, these problems were already there, but they were swept under the rug for so times. And social media highlighted the problems that were already there. It just brought them from under the rug and brought them straight to the surface for us to have to deal with. Because we've been shoving them under the rug for so many years that it was going to eventually blow up in our face, and that's definitely what social media has done, because let me give you a prime example, right? Let's just say something happened in Syria, right? CNN might come along and give you one version of the story and say this is the correct version, right? Fox News or might give you another version of that, or BBC News might give you a whole different version, and someone who's actually there and recorded the whole thing might say, no, all three of you are wrong because I got it right here on my camera, So that's one of the things that social media did, and whether that's good or bad, it's entirely upon the individual's perspective to figure out. But the truth of the matter is, any tool we've ever used, take a look back at when we figured out how to make fire, right? You can either use it or abuse it, all right? And the same thing, you can use fire to give light and to give warmth and to give people safety and security, the same reason you can use fire to hurt a person's skin, burn them alive, and not only burn a human being, but burn all life around you. You know, that's one of the beautiful things that Sadhguru, gotta give praise to Sadhguru on this one, when he said Shiva opens his third eye, and he either sees everything clearly or chooses to burn up the whole existence if he wants to. You see, that is what we fail to realize about social media. It's just like fire. You can either use it or abuse it. And with every tool we've ever had, before we learned how to use it, we learned how to abuse it. And social media is no different. You know, we just need to learn how to use it instead of abuse it. You know? And to tell you the honest truth, I'm just figuring out how to use this. I've always been the silent observer. But to get back to what people fail to realize about social media is that social issues that were seen in the past as normal, because it was part of the cultural landscape. I'll take an example. You know, I was raised on an island where, because of social media on my home island, it's natural now to speak English. Because of social media, a lot more kids are speaking English. But when I was growing up on that same island 10 years ago, all right, speaking English wasn't really accepted socially. Me and some of the people that I was friends with were seen as outcasts because of the fact that we spoke English. Because their perspective, they saw it as a status thing. When I see it as, you know, hey, we just like to speak what we like to speak. And we speak how we like to speak because, hey, it conveys a flavorous way of exchanging information. Which is how I'm seeing what I'm doing right now. It's just exchanging information in a flavorous way. I'm not even sure if that's a word, but hey, there we go. So there are a lot of things that people don't realize about social media. Now, for whatever reason, due to this whole pandemic, I haven't been able to watch The Social Dilemma. And I'm sure I've had people reviewing The Social Dilemma and explain it to me. And there's definitely a lot of social things that are being discussed over there that I can definitely agree with. But to say that those problems are solely because of social media, I'm just going to have to be frank on that. I have to call horseshit on that one. Because those problems were already there. Social media just highlighted them, brought them from under the rug and up to the surface. With all social issues. Take a look at feminism, for example. You know, there are a lot of places where I agree, where, you know, equal rights for females are still a problem in the world. Definitely those have to be addressed. There's still, you know, cultural divide that has to be addressed. And, you know, definitely because of social media and, you know, the pandemic brought a lot of these things to the surface. So these are things that we have to work on because we cannot afford to sweep them under the rug any longer. And, you know, so that's definitely one of the things that social media has brought to the surface that we cannot deny, you know. And like I said, like every tool on the planet, social media is no different from the first time we created fire. Before we learned how to use it, we learned how to abuse it. You know, and you can do great things with it, and you can do terrible things with it. And we've witnessed the terrible things you can do with it. But we have yet to properly learn how to use it in the correct way. Because there's a lot of things we can learn from each other just by this great platform alone. I was always very interested in shows like, you know, The Breakfast Club and, you know, Vlad TV and, you know, now I listen to Abba and Preach and, you know, I'm learning so much. I listen to Michael Franzese. I learned so much from these people about different perspectives. You see, because when you learn these different perspectives, you can add them to your own. You can relate yourself to it, and it's like, hey, I'm going through a situation right now. They've been through the same situation, and they somehow made it out of there. Maybe it won't work for me, but maybe it will help me figure out a way how it works for me. You know, that's one other thing I have to address as well. But that's going to be in a whole other video together. You know, self-help books. You know, but like I said, that's a whole other video together. But I'm definitely going to come up with something where, you know, self-help books are great, but they serve as a mirror to help you find your own way. Because that's really how you move forward, is to finding your own unique and authentic way to do what you like to do and to do what you love to do and do it in a way that you keep loving to do it. All right, but yeah, I mean, there's so much I've learned also from my Arabic friends out there. You know, before that, and yeah, but you're gonna probably laugh or be offended or find me stupid when I say this, but before, you know, I started traveling, I thought the term Arabic was just, you know, one thing, you know, one nation or one type of people. Now I realize, you know, there's so many different variations of you know, that aspect of that life, and I find it so fascinating. Like, when I was living in the Netherlands for 6 years, my only friends were like Turkish people, Moroccan people, Pakistani people, and you know, yeah, there were some Brazilian people out there too, because evidently I look Brazilian, even though I've never been. I really love to go, just for the carnival and the MMA, because yeah, I hear a lot of stuff about it. But I'm getting off topic here. But yeah, yeah, so many things that social media brought to the surface, and I don't even know why I'm whispering, but yeah, there's so many great things that social media has brought to the surface, issues that we definitely have to work on, and but that's a whole other thing together. But yeah, I've had a lot of pre-workout before I started training, so I'm all over the place. But even though whatever situation and you're not feeling great right now, or you've been through something, know that better is around the corner. If you love yourself and you trust yourself completely, fully, then there's nothing you can't do. You know, and regardless of where this life is going to take me, I know I'm going to go it with the same smile on my face as when I came into this world. So, hope it helps you all. Namaste. Take care.